So when we're teaching, we want to choose equipment that makes our job, of course, as easy as possible. We want an E&A glider that's not a potato. We want a glider that the student can grow with, the student's going to have fun with, not only during training, but we want them to have fun with that glider when they get home as well. Something that they can keep for 18 months or 2 years and not feel like they're left behind when they go home with their E&A glider. You know, what we want in an E&A beginner glider is some features that allows that student to learn some things that are going to transfer over later on when they get some experience into the advanced gliders. So that glider's got to have trimmers with some pretty good trim range in it. It's got to have speed bar capability so they can learn how to use that. It's got to have a little bit of a reflex profile to it so they can start to understand reflex profiles and what that does and the advantages of it in the more advanced BC and D-level gliders. It's got to have markings on the risers that makes it easy for the student to identify which riser they need to pull, for example, for big ears, or where to set their trim for takeoff. So those are all features that we want in an E&A glider so that that transfers over when they move up to those higher rated gliders down the road as they build experience. So our student gliders, they've got to be durable. They take a beating. Students are not nice to gliders. They're not. And that's just all part of the learning process. So we need a glider that's durable. We need a glider that has fully sheathed lines. We need a glider that has nice roller cams on the trimmers that make for smooth operation and no chance of slipping out. But we don't need it to be too difficult on the student. It needs to be light enough and it needs to inflate easy enough that we're not wearing out our students, especially our smaller students that are flying on smaller motors like the Atom 80. So it needs to combine those features of durability, lightness, and ease of use. So also important in these beginner gliders is going to be its performance and the glider's efficiency. And the reason why those things are important is because we want to be able to put the lightest paramotor on our students that we can, such as the Atom 80 paramotor. We need a glider that can work with those lightweight units that are a little less power, so that way we're not wearing out our students, and at the end of the day, after they've done 10 or 15 launches and touch and goes, they're not tired out and they're ready to come into the next session and do it all over again. PPG is definitely a potentially dangerous sport, and safety is something that is always at the top of our minds when we teach it, and making sure that we're training our students via a systemized method, and also making sure that we're using top quality paragliders and equipment from reputable brands. And that equipment has to have a reputation for safety when we're working with those students in order to manage that risk that's inherently part of our sport. So we've just started using the Atom 2 in our school, and actually it checks all those boxes. It's an E&A glider. It's got lots of progressive stability, very good roll stability for the student, and also like really excellent feedback. And it's not a potato. It's something fun that they're able to go home with, and the students can fly for the next 2 years and still love it. Maybe they won't even move up to a higher rated glider, if ever, because they've got something that they can have fun on and that they can grow into and feel safe from training, potentially years afterward. So in summary, the PPG Atom 2 is a glider that we trust. And by trusting a glider, it allows us to put the focus on the student and the student's training rather than the gear.